The thought is the quantum unit of our existence that makes us as human beings. So if we have bad thoughts and negative thoughts or sad thoughts, that will manifest on our body as a disease. So the thoughts and the disease are very connected together. So we are basically creating, without even knowing, our own diseases.
It's usually to do with some sort of emotional problem that's been blocked and not dealt with. And I've found that most people, and the thing is, especially women, we tend to block. Maybe I've got 3 children, I go out to work, I've got a house to take care of, a husband to take care of. And women particularly tend to sort of stuff their problems down into around here. And they think, oh, well, I'll deal with it later. And if you do that too much, you break down the chemical balance of the body and you become sick.
Disorganization of the biofields that organize all of our biochemical as well as cellular coherence in our body, that the biofields are more fundamental to the foundation of who we are and what we are. And those energy fields around us are, you'll see breakdowns in those areas that will precede any physical disease.
I believe that disease comes from an imbalance of frequencies in the body.
And on a deeper level, I think illness, as others have probably talked about, there's emotional and spiritual causes for disease too. And ultimately, I think we need to look at health and healing in a physical, emotional, and mental, spiritual realm as well. Feelings that I am stuck with, so-called negative feelings, it helps me process negative emotions from trauma, from sadness, from grief.
You became distracted because of certain things that got you distracted, like distraction, I would say myopia, farsightedness or nearsightedness. You have created that somehow yourself by some strain, things that you were not getting to see and wanted not to see or wanted to change, and then you hold on to this, but you can retrain that, recondition that.
I believe that a person has a responsibility to heal themselves, and they believe in going to the doctor. They should be under a doctor's care. But in my own life, I would use drugs or surgery as a last resort, and I would try the soft, gentle treatments, the natural treatments first, before resulting to drugs or surgery.
What I've found a very useful tool, if you like, is to just get somebody to close their eyes and talk to that part of their body and say, what is the message of this particular illness? What are you trying to tell me? And if they can allow information to come, then I get them to say, okay, now I understand the message. You do not need to give me that message any longer. And if they say that a few times, often the illness will go away.
Because I think that when you have a problem, doesn't matter which kind of problem is it, it's very important to say, this is my problem.
できるものとできないものがあり、できるものは例えば、少しのストレスであれば友達に話すとか、それからアロマを焚くとか、ゆっくりお風呂に浸かるとか。
While there is a illness, we can cure and not cure.
I think that most of the time you need somebody to help you, because it's very hard to treat yourself. It's hard to see a lot of times the truths of where things lie, and it's really easy to fool ourselves and be under an illusion about certain things. But I think, yes, it's possible as well to be able to treat yourself. But I think you need some kind of outside help to do that. It's not something you're going to will yourself into. I think you need guidance. And you may need technologies. In our culture, we need technologies. In ancient cultures, you were You may have used other kinds of being in nature and being outdoors and having certain belief systems that can be altered that'll help you.
Well, if someone gets a little stressed, then we can talk with friends, or we can use aroma.
例えば、いろんな人と話をして、違う人の考え方を聞いて学んで自分で理解するとか。
And to get English understanding, meeting with other people, listening to other people's opinion.
まず最初に自分でできることを探そうとするはず。
Well, at first, it has to be starting to find by themselves.
So then, I have to face. I have to say, okay, I've been very soon stressed. Face it, put it on a piece of paper, and so I can start the healing process.
The soul experiences through the body the symptoms it most needs to learn something. And I'm not only learning myself through this experience, but what I'm experiencing is teaching everybody around me.
But I think that the must of the healing process is to think positive. What I mean when I'm talking about think positive is not only the thought. I mean that you really need to believe that is something positive in my life, or with this healing process, or with this illness. Perhaps this will tell me something. We can start there. And just small steps. And so you need to feel that it's inside my body. I believe these things. Then it's a positive thinking, a healing.
But if you are in a negative state and say, it always happens to me, and God hates me, and the world hates me, and that's why God, then you get an inflammation, and then it doesn't heal the natural way. So you make it even worse before it gets better because you're so negative. But if you say, I cut my finger, let's put it in the light, then 1 hour later it's fine, because you thought made it be better. I don't think that we consciously create negative thoughts to get ill. We don't even know that we are creating our negative feelings to become ill. So if we are not aware what caused the disease, we can't cure it without help. And people who help us, doctors, alternative doctors, they will guide us to the way to come out of the disease and the illness. But we have to want to come out. We have to want to be well.
でも、生きる力とか、自分が持てる、自分で自分をケアする力は基本的には絶対人にはあると思っている。
And the human being has power to live and energy to care themselves.
で、それでもダメな時には、何か自分でそれ以上になってはいけないっていうどこかで鐘が鳴るのね。
If it doesn't work, then there is a ring. You shouldn't go over.
そうすると、どこかその専門家のとこに行って話をしたり。
When at that time we go to the specialist.
I think there's a time and a place for professional care, and a time and a place for all of